Welcome to Music Forever, a podcast by the New Horizons International Music Association. I am Irene Cohen.
Debbi Gibson began her involvement with the New Horizons International Music Association in 2016 when she became the conductor of the New Hampshire New Horizons Band of the Lakes Region. She was a former music educator of public school and collegiate levels for over 40 years. New Horizons was a perfect fit. Debbi was still able to teach and make music. The age of the student was just a little different. Debbi earned her Bachelor of Music Education degree from Shenandoah College and Conservatory of Music with a certificate in performance and her Master's of Music Education from Madison University. Currently, Debbi conducts several groups alongside of the New Horizons Band: the Carter Mountain Brass Band of New Hampshire and the Taylor Community Chorus of the Retirement Community in Laconia, New Hampshire. An avid freelance musician, she continues clarinet and other woodwind instruments in ensembles in New Hampshire, such as the Lakes Region Symphony Orchestra, the Newmount Military Band, the Center Harbor Town Band, and the Gilford Community Band, as well as playing in several pit orchestras. Throughout Debbi's musical career, she has received many accolades. Those include, in 2002, the National 50 Directors Who Made a Difference Award. In 2005, in New Hampshire, the Music Education Association Distinguished Music Educator of the Year Award, and in 2011, the New Hampshire Band Director Association Outstanding Award. She has been a guest conductor at several middle and high school festivals, as well as the guest conductor at the Adult New England Music Camp at Snow Pond. Debbi believes that music is medicine and enjoys helping people share in the joyful and healing experience that music can provide, both through conducting and performing on her clarinet. This interview was done in May 2025 via Zoom. All right, well, thank you so much, Debbi, for doing this podcast today.
I am excited. I'm excited to speak with you and to speak with others.
Well, welcome to Music Forever. So our first question usually is, how did music get in your life?
We were a singing family. We sang nursery rhymes all the time, church songs. My dad was Italian, and every Sunday he would play romantic guitar music, Perry Como, Frank Sinatra, Mario Lanza. So there was always music in the house. My mom had played clarinet, elementary school, middle school. And I said, Mom, I think I'd like to, try an instrument. She said, okay. And she goes, oh, I used to play clarinet. Maybe you should try clarinet. I was hooked on the clarinet. I can remember the smell of the clarinet. We borrowed one from an army gentleman. It was a wood clarinet, opening that case. And I came home after the first lesson, and we never even played a note. I said, Mom, I want to be a clarinet person when I grow up. So my dad was in the Army. My story, I always tell people, when I was in 9th grade, I had already been in 10 different schools. So we moved quite around the United States. I lived in Panama for a while. Music helped me to connect with people.
So how would that have worked if you were moving around so much and learning how to play music? Who gave you lessons? Did you play in school bands? That sort of thing.
My band director, I had a wonderful high school experience. He suggested I take private lessons, and my parents really couldn't afford it because my sister was playing flute and she wanted lessons. So the gentleman we took lessons from, Mr. Conley, he saw me one week and he saw my sister the next week, and our lessons were $2. My high school experience was just perfect. The director was passionate about music, and we experienced jazz and concert and marching and theory. And my father passed away while I was in high school. And as teachers become mentors, he became a mentor for me.
What a wonderful story.
my parents would always welcome the new priest that was coming in, and they were talking, and he said, I'd really like music with our church services. And my mom said, "Oh, Debbie will do that. I just started piano lessons." He said, "Well, I wasn't thinking of piano. I was thinking about that organ up there in the loft." So I took a couple organ lessons, and at 16, that was my first job, playing the organ 5 masses a weekend. And it's funny, things go in circles. That's what I'm doing now. I'm playing the organ and cantoring at our church here in New Hampshire.
So through your high school years, despite a terrible loss, you were able to sort of be in one place, make music a large part of your life. And then what happened after that?
So while in high school, our band director, Mr. David Solomon, took us to Shenandoah College and Conservatory of Music for a weekend. You bring the high school students in, they perform, they experience the college life. I loved it. When I was a sophomore, I already knew. I had told him I want to be a music teacher. And so going to this college, and we were able to attend a class and, walk the campus. And I went, this is what I want to do. And so he helped me prepare my audition. He went with me to go get a better clarinet because I had to return this one to the military gentleman. I went to college and I majored in music education, clarinet major. We all did piano as a minor. And then I picked up voice as a minor. All the years I was singing, I told my mom, "So Mom, I'm going to go to college singing like this. Jingle bells, jingle bells." And I'm going to come back singing like this. Jingle bells, jingle bells. And we would laugh. And I didn't know how that would happen, but it evolved and it happened. I got a job right in the town right there at a middle school band. And I got engaged and married my husband. And then I started working on my master's. I would go at night. So I was working full time. 2 nights a week, I was driving with another gentleman from West Virginia. We were in Northern Virginia. We would drive an hour and a half to James Madison University. And Friday nights, I was a seamstress in a men's clothing store. And Saturday and Sunday, I was playing the organ. When I am busy, I feel alive.
Yes.
My children now tell me, because I'm retired, and they say, "Mom, do not say you're retired. You are not retired." I am out 4 nights of the week with rehearsals. During the day, I have some rehearsals. I'm helping at the church. I don't think I could sit in a chair and watch television. So I asked God to help me balance my life and bring that peace so that I am even keel. I don't let things bother me. I know when to ask for help. I know when to say, this is beyond me. There are times when I love to go outside the comfort zone and try something new, but I just feel like there's a peace that I have that allows me to do things and have this calmness of not being overwhelmed.
Does playing the church organ have a special meaning to you?
Well, playing it is a little stressful, but the words in the hymns and the music, being able to bring that to the congregation, yes, that part is special.
Yeah, so there's a real connection there for you with faith and music as a
Yes.
combination. Yes, that is beautiful.
I began in a middle school, taught middle school band, then high school band and chorus in high school, and those were in Virginia. I moved up to New Hampshire, taught elementary school music for 1 year, and then I landed at Laconia High School. It was just like perfect timing. It was a small program that needed building, and I was able to build a program with the whole thing, the choral, the band, the marching, the jazz, the color guard. It was a wonderful experience. To me, teaching is when you see that light bulb go off or that aha moment that music brings to them. Yeah, that's what it's about. For a student to trust they're in a safe environment, that it's okay to make a mistake, and to be challenged and go for that. As a band, we're a family and we support each other, and we need, and I'll just use choral terms right now, we need the soprano, the alto, the tenor, the bass parts to make this whole experience what they could do, what was already inside them. All I did was open the door. I opened the door, I gave them the tools, and wow, off they went.
Are you still in touch with some of your students?
Oh, yes. They did a big retirement party for me. And then after that, we had a big dinner, and I sing in their weddings. And sadly, I've been to some of their funerals. I've sung some of their funerals. If you go to any music program in a high school, there is a closeness there. If they, have a really compassionate teacher, I think it's that trust. And it's also the many hours. Like, it's not just school. It's after school, pep band, marching band, jazz bands, all those things. You would ask any director, at the end of the day, where are the kids in school? They're sitting in the band room. That's their comfortable place to be. I left high school. The person that took my place, she still calls me, hey, what about this? And I call her, oh, do you have that riff book for guitar? So we're still connected.
And then I guess somehow New Horizons came on the horizon for you. How did that happen?
Mary Divers, who is the founder of the Lakes Region New Horizons, was having a medical procedure. And she said, Debbie, could you sub for me for 2 months? And I said, sure, Mary, I'll do that for you. The first rehearsal, I didn't realize how much I missed it. I missed conducting. I missed teaching. And I loved it. I loved it. We had a great time. I said, oh, Mary, anytime you need to be a sub, just call me. It was like a week or 2 weeks later, I get a call from the president of the board, and they said, Debbie, we would like you to be our conductor. Would you like to? I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to do it. I would love to do it.
So tell us a little bit about Mary, because Mary Divers is a very special person in your community. I met her once in Maine during the Snow Pond music camp. So tell us a little bit about Mary so people know about her too.
Sure. Mary was a music educator in northern New Hampshire, and Mary had some failing eyesight. So at one point, she had stopped teaching. She'd teach at 2 different schools, I believe. And then she had settled in Laconia. And with a friend of hers who owns the music clinic, she was doing lessons there. And Mary heard about New Horizons, and she was like, we need to start a New Horizons band. And that's how Mary was. Like, if you were to meet Mary, she would say hello, and then the first thing she would say was, do you play an instrument? And she would get right to it. And if you said you didn't, she'd go, well, I got one for you. Are you busy on Tuesday nights? She was like the best PR person for the band. Everyone loved her. She played trumpet and she played baritone. She was conducting when I took over. We were going to co-conduct. And she says, you know what? I just want to play my trumpet. And I said, that's fine. So that's how we worked. She had passed away several years ago. We did a concert in her honor. We've dedicated our whole season. Mary was, your best is good enough. That's what she always said. Never a sad face, never upset, about anything, always forward and promoting band.
And how wonderful that you can keep working in her legacy. And that was
Yes.
sort of an automatic flow. There was really no problem for the band. They could keep going.
We actually commissioned a piece of work for her, Bob Sheldon. We said, here's what we'd like. We'd like a piece that starts out like a hymn, because Mary was a churchgoer and she did the bells in her church choir. And we'd like to highlight the bell part. We'd like to highlight a trumpet and a baritone somewhere in the piece. Then we'd like it to go to a march. Mary loved marches. And then I said, and the most important thing is you have to end on a happy note. It has to be happy, because that's how Mary was. And he did a beautiful job with that music.
You mentioned that you get together with other New Horizons bands. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, that was Mary's goal. And Russ Grazier will tell you, she called him up and said, hey, Russ, I hear you have a New Horizons band. We need to do a joint concert. And that's how that started. And then after that, Donna Morris started one in Monadnock. And then most recently, Maria Isaac started one in Concord. And so Russ and us, Portsmouth and Laconia, we were doing concerts, one at their site one year, the following year was our site, back and forth. And then we added Monadnock to it. So we kind of rotated. And then Maria came in and she doesn't really have a site. So it's been going back and forth between Portsmouth and Laconia. We've been doing it in Meredith and our folks love it. It's a one-day thing. We meet around 10 o'clock. Everybody knows what they're going to play. The directors pick their music. We have a nice lunch together. We get back together one last time. And then our community is invited in. It's free. And we give a 2 o'clock in the afternoon performance. Having these other directors in my state has made it comfortable for me to email or call or, when I see them, talk about different situations or looking for help or music, even just support.
So tell us a little bit about your specific band.
We have one band. We had started before COVID a brass ensemble and a woodwind ensemble and a jazz ensemble. So COVID hit, our brass ensemble kind of dissolved. Our woodwind group kept meeting. So they're still meeting. And our jazz band was like so small. And so we stopped the meeting, but they want to pick it up again. So I'm starting a jazz combo. We're going to start this summer. We're about 30 people now. I'm happy to say 2 of my former students are in there. We play our scales. I call it rock around the clock, the circle of fifths. We're learning all the different keys. I also do rhythm counting out loud. At first, there was a little bit of hesitance with people wanting to do this, but now they ask for it. Don't forget, we're counting today. I try and teach them to play what's not on the music. Like, what is it you're hearing? Where's that melody going? Who has the melody? How does your part fit in? Let's change the dynamics and see what happens when we do that. And it's okay to make a mistake. And I said, we could do this. Hey, I'll do something. And that didn't quite work. So, okay, let's do something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you would compare your wonderful career in school and having these special connections, how is that playing out for you with your New Horizons Band?
I always say music is medicine. It's medicine for us as performers when we find that how we fit together with someone else on a different part. When we hear that music, that euphoria that you get, there's nothing like that. Mm-hmm. And it's that feeling of being a part of something. There are so many connections that they're not business connections. They're good neighbor connections. They're good friend connections. Bands that play together. And that's how we are. We enjoy each other's company. People love coming. They love being there. They love feeling a part of something that is good and healthy and puts a big smile on their face.
So Debbie, then you ended up on the New Horizons International Board. You joined us this year, 2025. Let people know why you joined, what it is you hope that you can help with, and how you feel about the international organization.
Well, I became a part of the New Horizons Band. I love the philosophy. I love what it does, what we call our older generation, or 40 years and over. And I wanted to do more for our band, especially in membership and in PR. And I thought, well, maybe I can get some of that information from the International Association. And so I was, going through the website. And of course, I love the philosophy. The people are genuine. And once I was graciously offered to come aboard, it was so true. Everybody is there promoting what they think is best. I like the camaraderie. I like the respect that is between everyone. I like that anybody can make a suggestion and it's not frowned upon. I like that it's forward moving. A lot of positive things about the International Association. I'm really glad to be a part of it. As I became on the membership committee, we had to branch out and call other New Horizons groups. And 4 of the groups that I called were so thankful for, I'll say, the Mother Association to reach out and ask how they're doing and what we could do for them.
And wonderful to do that sort of outreach, so people indeed feel that they are part of a larger community than not just their band community or orchestra community. With your energy and experience and knowledge, you are a very valuable member. So looking forward to all the work that you'll be doing. Debbi, if there would be somebody coming to you, and probably people have in your area, saying, I would love to join your band, but I'm worried, it's been 30 years since I played something, or I don't really remember how to read music. What would you tell them?
We actually have somebody that did that. Came in, he played in junior high school, played saxophone. He does not have a sax anymore. And we said, well, you know what? Why don't you come to a rehearsal? Meet everybody. You don't have to stay the whole time, and just see the flow of the rehearsal. I connected with him and said, so we don't have an alto sax, but we do have a baritone sax, if you think you might be interested in that. And he said, I want to try it. So he came in, we suited him up, we got him a reed and kind of got him going there. And we said, all right, here's what we'd like you to do. Just, sit and kind of follow the music. Don't worry if you don't even play a note. We're going to offer you lessons until you feel comfortable to jump into the band. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a professional. It just means maybe you have 12 notes under your fingers. He loved it. He's getting, signed up for lessons now. He'll still come into the band, and then the lessons will stop. Or if he wants to pursue them on his own afterwards, he can. We have musical brains, and how important music is to our well-being, to our health, for us understanding things, for socialization. Music is so important. And I feel so lucky that I'm able to help share that with people and have them experience it and make it a good part of their life.
We are the lucky ones, Debbi, those of us who have found music and can really enjoy it the way we are, combined with the social aspect of New Horizons. The band camps, the virtual events, the camaraderie. Coincidentally, early in the morning, I'm driving to Burlington, Ontario, about an hour and a half from here, and we will have a day like that. A day where the bands in southwestern Ontario get together, this time organized by the Burlington Band. And I can't wait. And
Yes.
it's just something to really enjoy and look forward to. So I understand that feeling of connecting with other bands. And, you can do it as often or as little as you want.
And you know what? When you play with other people that are a little bit above you, you rise to that. It brings that out in you.
Debbi, thank you so much for this lovely interview, for all the positive energy that you are bringing into your program, regardless of the age of who you are teaching. You are music. It's very contagious. And I think that is another aspect of New Horizons. It's very contagious. Once you're in, it's very easy to say to somebody else, you got to do it. You got to join. This is so much fun.
There's so many things that this association offers people. I hope this opens a door from there to go a little bit further.
I agree. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I would like to thank Debbi Gibson for doing this interview. If you would like to find out more about Debbi's New Horizons Band, please go to newhorizons-lakesregion.org.
Music for this podcast by Mary Riddle. Swag on. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Music Forever. If you are interested to be interviewed for this podcast, please email us at NHIMA@gmail.com. That is NHIMA podcast@gmail.com. See you next time.